Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. How are you doing? Today I'm going to be doing a pretty long video because I'm going to be explaining and discussing certain things. I recently told a lot more people about my Booktube channel, but they don't understand a lot of things about it, so I thought why not do a bit of a vocabulary / guide to Booktube. And so here on my clipboard I have a sheet with a lot of different terms. I'm just going to go through as many as possible. I'm a little nervous because I know this video is going to be long and I'm pretty sure someone's going to come in here and play Xbox soon, and that's gonna be fun. So if you are like brand spanking new to Booktube, you might have heard a few of these terms thrown about, but you probably don't understand what they mean. If you've seen a couple of videos, you might have a good idea of it. If you've seen a lot of videos, you should know by now. If you're a reader, you might know some of these terms, but not the rest. And if you're a reader and into Booktube, you should probably know. But I think this video should be good for anyone on any, I want to say like skill level when it comes to Booktube, or like knowledge level. A lot of these terms I didn't know when I came to Booktube. I mean, some of them like simple like paperback, hardback, author, literary agent, I understood, but then it came to other things I was kind of like, what are we talking about? So I watched a bunch of videos and I was on Twitter and just took a bunch of notes of different words and terms that people say in Booktube that I thought would be good to talk about, because I do get a couple questions, or well, we all get a couple questions about what these are and to explain them. So I think the only other YouTuber that has done this is Books and Lala. I'll link her video down below. If there are any more, I'll link theirs too, but as far as I know, she's the only one that's done this. I'm sure there's going to be more terms that I don't have on this list, and I'm sure there's some that I'm forgetting, and if I do remember them, I'll probably film another clip and put it in towards the end, but as of right now, I have lots. So let's get into it. Okay. Also, I just put a couple stacks of books behind me. That's for like each category of terms I'm going to be talking about, and I might pick them up and move them around. So if you see books moving around behind me, that is why. I wanted to have some examples to show you and like show the differences between them. I might also move the camera around a little bit because I feel like this lighting can tend to be too bright and like block the covers a little bit. Okay, so I did move. Hopefully, as a matter of fact, that does look better as long as I angle it a certain way. Alright, so as you can see, I did move. The window is still here, but I'm facing this way. Hopefully it won't be as harsh when I hold things up. As you can see, like when I put my hand up, it like washes out my hand and you can't see the details. And I was hoping that this would be better so that when I hold up a book, I'm testing it out, that it'll be better to see things. So far it does. Okay. As I was saying, I do have a stack of books right over here and my bookshelf is here, so I might move around the room to show you the examples of what I'm saying. The first stack of books I'm going to be talking about are ARCs, which are called advanced reader copies. These books are given out months, maybe even years prior to the actual publishing date for people to review and discuss the book. They are not for sale. It's, according to some people, it is illegal, so I highly suggest do not do that to save yourself the trouble. If you can, give it away to a friend, give it back to the company, maybe even donate it or trade with someone. Not only is there different names for it, there are all different types of them. For example, I got this one at BookCon. Right here it tells you it's advanced reader copy and it is sold in September 2019. It has the cover, it has the author name, it has everything there, it's ready to go. Again, it has the spine. It also has the description, and I do not think there is a blurb on it, and it tells you a lot about the marketing and publicity campaign. Most books will not look like this. They tend to be plain, or they have a draft of a cover and they do not have blurbs on them. here is another one with the final cover with blurbs, etc. I do not think the actual cover has like the space in between. I think it's just from tip to tip. As just like the other one, it tells you the date and Advanced Readers Edition, ARC, ARE, and it tells you not for sale on the back. It has a description, and it's, oh, it has, oh my god. And on the back, it has the description and a lot of details. Now, as I was saying, each arc is not going to be the same, especially if it's from different companies and publishers. They will tend to look a little different. These two arcs I got from Macmillan Publishing House. I guess I haven't got anything else from them, so I'm not really sure what other ones they have. They tend to have a plain black spine with white information. They will have covers like this. So if it is the final cover or possibly final cover, it will have the image right there with the black border. And on the back is white and has like a, it's almost like a Microsoft doc. You know what I mean? Like information just copy and pasted on the back with the black edge. Okay. On the back, at the top, let me get close here. It will tell you the name, the author, and the date, the description, etc. It also tells you the genre it is, the publishing, the date, the codes, numbers, possible price for when they do sell it, the type of book, pages, etc. It also tells you the books by the author that you could get. It tells you all the way at the bottom. Oh my gosh. This is not for sale, not for quotation. The reason that is because this book will tend to go through more edits and things will change. So when you decide to quote it and say things about it, you may be wrong and be taken out later. So if you would like to see a difference between the two books, here is an arc that I got this year at BookCon. And here is an arc that I got today in the mail. Very different, but still the same thing. Bigger booktubers do get a bit more arcs because they have a larger following and they know people will see it, so they're hoping to give it to them so that they can review and get more advertising for that book. It does take some time to get an arc. You have to be really lucky. All the ones that I have gotten were from BookCon or being lucky in a Goodreads giveaway. Sometimes you can request them or email them, but again, it is the company. They can reject you or tell you no. A lot of times they already have a list ready to go to be given to certain people. If they do have extras, they might give it out. An unbound proof is pretty much the same thing as an arc, except it's a bit earlier in the process. This is a stack of papers, for example, like this. They are not bound by anything. They're not taped, glued, or stapled together. This is mainly for people to give their work to someone to edit or to just write over and review. So then we're going to be talking about the different formats of books. And when I mean by different formats, I mean like how they look and how they feel and how you can view or / read them. So I'm going to give you the ones that I have, and I'll tell you more about the ones that I don't have. Alright, so some of the books that you may see will, all books you will see will tend to be different size, format, thickness, length, whatever. And so this is about, compared to my hand, it's about the same size as my hand. This is called a mass market paperback. Mass market paperbacks tend to be printed much smaller than a regular paperback. If I can pull out my paperback. This is a regular paperback. If you put them together, they tend to be much, much smaller. It's more like a pocketbook, something like travel size. This is a paperback. Depending on the author and the company, paperbacks tend to be sold a year later after the hardback has been published. Like I said, it does depend on the author and the company. A lot of times paperbacks come out first, or they only do it in paperback. This is an example of a hardcover. They're hardcovers. I don't remember why they were made. I think it's to help protect the cover and it's not as flimsy, it's not as easy to damage. Another example of a hardback looks like this. It's the same thing as that, except there's no design on the covers. Sometimes they will have something here or here on the back. Here's an example of a regular hardback, looks the same. These tend to be printed with a, oh my god, what are these called? These are called book jackets / dust jackets, which will have the cover, which you will see also on paperbacks. If you can hear a dog barking, that is my dog outside. Another example of a hardback will have Another example of a hardback will have a design on the front pages and cover and in the back. Not all of them will do this. Also, some will have some kind of design on the front. As you can see, this one has a bit of a little symbol there. And then other times when a author will publish a book, sometimes they will have a design on the dust jackets. For example, Lord of Shadows have all of these symbols for the runes that the Shadowhunters will write on themselves. The other formats of books that you can read are ebooks and audiobooks. Audiobooks are books that you can listen to. It's someone narrating the story and speaking out loud to you. And then ebooks are more like, it's almost like reading a text on your phone. You're just reading and swiping through on your phone or on your Kindle. A lot of times you can find those as like a downloaded copy or something that you get from using an app on, your Kindle or your library. I personally use Libby. I have looked into other things, but my favorite so far has been Libby. If you want to hear audiobooks, I say use Audible, Scribd, or Libby. So when you get a book, whether it's a hardback or paperback, it should and may not, again, depends on the book and the cover, should have the title, the author, whatever the cover they want. If they have any extra information they want you to know, they'll put that here. Title and author on the side, and they'll have the publishing company. On the back, it should have a barcode with a price. Sometimes they'll add other books that the author had, more information, and blurbs. Okay, so oftentimes when it is a hardcover, they will put the description on the inside, and then they'll put the author information with photos. Not all have photos on the back side. If it is not a hardcover, or if they did not put it on the book jacket, they will put it on the back like this, or they will put it somewhere else in the book. Oftentimes, if the description is too long, they will put it back here. I forgot to mention this, but you can also get ARCs as an ebook. They are ARCs just on a Kindle or app, like an ebook. They come out months before. Oftentimes you'll have to request this, or it's asked, and they will ask you if you want it. Sometimes people will be talking about books and they'll be like, I would like a physical copy versus a virtual copy. What they mean by that is a book that you can hold in your hands and feel versus reading a book on an app or through a computer or something. Now there are two dogs. That is my dog and the neighbor's dog. They like to bark at each other all the time. It's kind of funny. Sometimes I'm like, what y'all talking about? But the two of them are going at it. So the next thing we're going to talk about the different genres. There are a lot of genres of books. I personally do not have all of them because I'm not interested in all of them, but I will give you a bit of a description of each. If I forget one, I will probably put like a clip or something in just to make sure to add it or write it down in the description. Actually, I have changed my mind. I have decided to make a separate video on different book genres because I feel like that is going to be long and this deserves more time and attention to discuss it, and will make this video even longer than it needs to be. So I'll probably make like a book, like a part 2, So this will be guide to booktube terms, and the next one will be guide to book genres. Be on the lookout for that. It might come out in a month or two. I'll probably tweet it before I do. So now I'm going through a bunch of other terms that may not have a book to show you or a way for me to like explain it better. I'm just gonna give my definition that made it easy for me to understand and also what other people understand. So a term that you may hear is TBR. A lot of people post TBR videos. TBR stands for to be read, which tend to be a stack of books, or however many books that this person would like to read at a certain amount of time. For example, I posted a July TBR, which is the amount of books that I like to read in the month of July. Someone else might make a TBR of the year and talk about the books they want to read throughout the year. They might do a TBR every week to talk about the books they want to read throughout the week. Then we tend to see a lot of wrap-ups, which is kind of the sibling to TBR videos. Wrap-up videos are when people discuss the books that they read in however many amount of time. I recently posted a video called Did I Read My June TBR / June Wrap-Up, is when I talk about the books that I read last month. A vlog is short for video blog. It's when we record ourselves talking into the camera or phone. For a certain amount of time. For example, someone might do a Booktubeathon vlog, which would be the vlog centered around the time that they participate in the Booktubeathon. Speaking of Booktubeathon is an example of a readathon, which is a time when a group of people will come together to read a certain book just because or based on a certain amount of challenges for a specific amount of time. This year, the Booktubeathon, which is now named the Reading Rush, will be taking place at the end of the month for about a week, where we'll come together and read a bunch of books based off of 7 challenges, and then they will have video challenges. In a readathon, there will often be things called reading sprints. That is when someone will post a specific amount of time, for example, 20 minutes, where people will get together and read as much as they can in those 20 minutes. A tag video is when people do a challenge or a series of questions or whatever it is and film a video about it and tag other people to do it at the end. An example of this is I just did an NF book tag, which is a bunch of questions about NF, and I tagged other people to do it as well. A challenge video is people challenge you to do a certain thing. For example, I challenge you to figure out if you have these specific books. For example, the Do I Have That Book challenge is where a series of questions ask you to time yourself and hurry up and go find as many of these books as possible. A bujo, also known as bullet journal video, is when people will discuss the bullet journal spreads that they did. Oftentimes it's related to book things because they are booktubers. You can find if you do type in bullet journal videos, you will find that in YouTube there is a bullet journal YouTube community. If you want specifically book bullet journals, you would put in book bullet journals or find a booktuber that does those. A good example is Olivia Reads a Lot and Books of Mala. Let's see, Books with Chloe and Brittany the Bibliophile. A haul video is when someone shows you the amount of books, etc., that they recently bought in a certain amount of time. For example, a birthday book haul would be someone showing you the books that they got for their birthday. A unhaul is when a booktuber shows you a collection of books that they're deciding to get rid of or give away. For whatever reason, they may not want them. I don't know what just happened, but I was recording and the screen went black, and I guess it decided to stop recording and not save the last clip, so I don't even know where I left off. Oh gosh. A tag video is when someone will do a challenge or specific series of questions and tag people at the end. A challenge video is when a person is challenged to do something. For example, Do I Have That Book challenge is when someone had to find as many books on their shelf that relate to that series of questions. Bujo is a shortened version of bullet journal. A lot of booktubers do bookish bullet journals to track what they're reading, track their notes, and etc. You can find a bullet journal community. Oftentimes, people in that community do it for more life and traveling. If you want specific book bullet journals, I suggest type in book bullet journal we're going ahead and watch some of my favorites, Books with Chloe, Brittany the Bibliophile, and Olivia Reads a Lot. A haul video is when someone is showing you a stack or series of books that they got in a certain amount of time. For example, a birthday book haul is when someone is showing you all the books that they got for their birthday. A unhaul is the opposite of that, is when someone is giving away or getting rid of books for whatever reason. For example, I believe Emma Books did one recently, as well as Haley in Bookland. Some people prefer to have a small amount of books on their shelves, or they just don't want to have as many books. Maybe they're just not interested anymore. They decided to unhaul it. An unboxing is when someone gets a book or subscription box or a package and they decide to open it up for you to see the goodies inside. If you hear someone say, I am being sponsored by, I am partnered with, I am working with, or I have an affiliate link with, oftentimes they are working with an author or a company to promote a certain book, product, or thing. They may have been asked to create a video or write a review or to tell you about a book. Or sometimes they will have a link where they will get paid as well as you getting a discount code. Many of the websites that these YouTubers will work with is Book Depository and Book Outlets. They will work with publishing companies such as Macmillan, Harper, Collins Teen, places like Epic Reads. They will work with authors like Cassandra Clare or, newer authors or self-published authors. Sometimes they work with book subscription companies like Fay Crate, Owl Crate, and Fairy Loot. Goodreads is a website often used by booktubers. You may find their links in the description, or they may put it in their Twitter and Instagram biographies. This website is used to track your reading, read reviews, write reviews, track others' reading, find books you're interested in, find books that authors may be publishing soon, etc. There's an app for it. I use it because I find it very easy to track my books. Also, they do a yearly reading challenge where you put in the desired amount of books that you'd like to read each year and track your reading. A book birthday is when a book is published. So oftentimes people will be like, hey, happy book birthday too. And that's because that day is the day it was published or will be published. A booktuber is someone on the YouTube website who uploads and publishes videos related to books. They do a lot of bookish content in the video form. Booktube is the general term for all the people that do bookish videos on YouTube. A bookstagrammer is someone who posts about books in photos or in sometimes videos on Instagram. Oftentimes they'll have a question or description about it. Book Twitter is where people tweet and talk about books, may promote a book or a video that they're posting. A lot of times people go over there because that's where a lot of people talk and discuss things more and have a conversation. A lot more people are active there. Some events that booktubers will be found are author signings, where you will go to a certain place and get your book signed. Do you go to BookCon, which is a convention where we discuss books and meet authors, get books signed, find a lot of merch, buy things, eat food, etc. Book Expo, which is just like BookCon, happens beforehand. However, it's more for the publishing, more informational type, while BookCon is more the fun and actual books. Book Expo does take a bit more to get accepted and be allowed to go to, so you just go to BookCon. A book blog is when someone will be discussing books, may even do a video, where it's more of a written form. It's like a review, but they will be a bit more in-depth. A lot of times you'll see that on WordPress or Weebly. POV means point of view, and that is discussing the point of view of a character or a person. OTP means one true pairing, and that is your favorite couple that you want to be together. Ship is when you want to put a certain characters together and you really hope that they have some sort of friendship or relationship. Something that is canon is something that has been confirmed or written by the author. It is in the series. Fan fiction is when someone takes the series and does their own additions and changes to it. A fandom is a group of people who are really interested in a certain thing. For example, the Shadowhunters fandom, there's a lot of people who are really into Shadowhunters. They may do things canon or fan fiction. An author is someone who has written a book, published a book, graphic novel, etc. An autobi author is someone that, for me, I would say Marissa Meyer is an autobi author. I love Marissa Meyer books. Whenever I see she has a new book coming out, I automatically get it, whether it's pre-order or right in the store. That is when someone just sees something they really like and they know they like it, they automatically buy it without question. A WIP is a work in progress or writing in progress, is when someone is discussing the writing that they're currently doing because they're in the process of writing a book. MC means main character, POC means person of color, and WOC means woman of color, MOC means man of color. Own voices is, I want to say, it's slowly kind of sort of a genre or category of books. You often hear this term because the author is in own voices, and own voices means they may have a specific type of character, like for example, an African American character that lived in the projects. The author may relate to that, or if there's a disabled character, the author may be disabled, and that becomes own voices because they're speaking from their own experiences. A love triangle is when three people might have sort of relationship and they can't figure out. For example, the top person may have to choose between the two people, or there's three in a relationship and they're making it work. Insta-Love is when people seem to almost immediately fall in love instead of, like most people, prefer some development. Best friend, boyfriend is when oftentimes it's between two females who are best friends and one female falls in love with the boyfriend. There is friends to enemies, where there's two friends who are really good and all of a sudden they become enemies. There's enemies to lovers, where these two people are enemies and over time they become lovers. There's a lot of other stereotypes and tropes. I'll probably do a video on that as well because I can't think of them and there's a lot. Then we have NaNoWriMo, which is short for National Novel and Writing Month, which is a thing that happens in November where people come together on a website or Google Doc or whatever and write as many words as they can. NaNoWriMo Month has been popular and known for being quite successful for helping people get their books published and giving them more of that motivation to push themselves to write more. An example of a book that was published during NaNoWriMo is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I was told many times that this was written during one or two NaNoWriMos and eventually she got it published. Another example is the entire Lunar Chronicle series by Marissa Meyer. I was told that she wrote all those series, I think in one or two, maybe even more NaNoWriMos, which I thought was quite impressive because all of them are quite lengthy and full of detail and really just beautifully written. A literary agent is someone that will support and sponsor someone. They are responsible for finding a publisher and editor for this author. A editor is someone that will take your works and go through it and give their ideas and what you should do to edit it, what they think would be better for the book to get more success. A publisher can be a person or a company such as Macmillan that will listen to the literary agent and authors and they will come together to figure out what is a good date, time, cover, etc. to publish your book, to get it out there. They are the ones that will print out the book and eventually find more people to sponsor. For example, this is when Booktubers come in, they will sponsor videos or sponsor them to do certain things to get this author's book out. An information dump or info dump is when certain authors tend to put a lot of information in that may not be necessary in a short period of time. For example, in the beginning, a lot of authors like to info dump you, give you a lot of information, where people do prefer a lot of the information to be given throughout the book. A DNF means do not read or did not finish. For example, I had read a few books last year that I started but did not finish because I did not enjoy them. A lot more booktubers are starting to do this practice because I feel it is better to just put down the book they're not interested in and use their time for books they will like. A shelfie is a photo or video of their shelf, is where they show you the books that they're doing. For example, they will have a bookshelf tour where they go through each book, a bookshelf organization, or a photo on Instagram. An annotated book is when you find a book that has been annotated by the author or another reader, where they will take notes and write things, do pictures. It's not very easy to find those. I do suggest looking. It may take a little bit of time. A lot of people do not prefer to write in their books. However, with the help of Booktube, when people are accepting this and starting to do it more, a lot of people will use highlighters, sticky notes, tabs, pens, pencils, and note cards. An example of this is Brittany the Bibliophile in Books with Chloe. A blurb is when an author or publisher or celebrity will give like a quick review or thoughts on how they feel about a book. Oftentimes it's on the front cover of the book, so as you can hear, that is a bit of a review. And on the back, there are two more right here. Not all books will have this. It's not really necessary, but they can do it. It does help give the book. It does help give the book a bit of a boost when it comes to having success in selling the book. If you will hear someone say YA, that means young adult. Those books tend to be geared towards teenagers and younger adults towards like the college age. If you hear new adult, that's also college age, more of a 19 to 30s. Adult is more adults. They're more serious and less fun fictional. It's more realistic. Middle grade is for children, or it tends to be like middle school age. And children's as well, children books. Graphic novels. Graphic novels are novels that are, well, graphic. They are majority pictures. For example, this is Under the Moon by Lauren Miracle. These are like comics and manga, except they are longer, which is why they are novels. There are also things called samplers. This is my Chain of Gold sampler that I got at BookCon. They tend to be 50 pages and under, 1 to 5 chapters. So it's like a sampler of the book, so you get an idea of what the book is about. It also helps people figure out if they're interested in it and help boost the advertisement. So that was all the terms that I have written down. I hope that I gave a good enough description and showed enough examples for you to understand. I hope that I made Booktube terms just a little bit easier for you, and hopefully that you will understand what people says, and when the next time someone says something, you'll be like, I got you. If there are a few more terms or things that you would like me to give a description or help you figure out, just comment them down below and I'll be sure to help you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.